This is a demonstration on using the Voronoi Diagram tool. A Voronoi diagram is a way to divide space into regions based on distance to a specific set of points. Each point has a region made up of all the locations closer to it than to any other point. You can use this to assign a set of points to their closest depot, for example, and thus create sales and delivery areas. You can also use this to create a catchment area around a certain store to see the exact region that is served by that store. You can see in this example here, I have a set of points in blue in the Gauteng area, and I also have some depots. I want to assign these points so that they are assigned to their closest depot and can be served by the appropriate depot. And to do that, I'm going to use the Voronoi Diagram tool. So first you want to make sure that you select the correct layer that you want to do the Voronoi diagram on. And in this case, it is my depots layer. So I'll click on it there. Then I'll come to the Tools tab and I'll click on Voronoi Diagram. So you can see here there are various settings you can put. The first is to have a box drawn around the Voronoi diagram and give that box a padding as well. In this case, I'm not going to do that. I just want the exact Voronoi diagram cells and no extra box border around that. So I'm going to leave that checked off. Then you have your maximum internal cell size and maximum boundary cell size. Now this is going to actually determine the size of the cells of the Voronoi diagram. And so to determine how big they should be, you might have to play around with it a bit, but you can eyeball it generally. Like in this example here, I want to make sure when it makes the Voronoi diagram cell around the depots that it is a big enough cell to cover the various blue points around it so that it can encompass them nicely. And based on what I'm seeing here, using my scale bar, which can be turned on in the scene tab over here, I can see the scale of the map currently, and it looks like using 20 kilometers will be a good amount per cell to make sure that it really encompasses the points around each depot when the Voronoi diagram is created. So I'll use that average of 20, and I'm going to specify that for the cell sizes over here. So these cell sizes are in degrees, and a degree is equal to approximately 111 kilometers. So you just divide the kilometer amount by 111, and so I got 0.2 for 20 kilometers. The internal cells are simply the cells of the diagram that are going to be around the points that are more in the center of the points you've selected, and the boundary cells are going to be around the points that are more on the outskirts of the points that are being used to do the Voronoi diagram on. And there we go. I have put that in there, and then if I only wanted to do it on selected geometries, I would select them with one of the selection tools and select maybe only certain depots. Then I would check on selected geometries, but in this case I want to do it on all my depots, so I'll leave that checked off, and then I can say OK. It'll make a new layer for me here, and I'm just going to make this layer a bit transparent so I can see underneath it, and then I'll say OK. And there we go. It's created my Voronoi diagram. And you can see it's made very accurate areas around each of my depots so that I can then classify the points into those areas, because those areas tell me what are the regions that are closest to this depot, and the points that fall within those regions, I can very easily see that now and classify my points. To do that, I'm going to use the classify tool in the spatial Excel ribbon over here. I'm going to come to the associated spreadsheet that is connected to my Gauteng stores so that I can do the classification on that spreadsheet here. I'll come to the end, select the blank column, open the classify tool. Then the layer I'm going to use to do the classification is the Voronoi diagram layer. It's picked up my column AB, and the column I'm going to pull through from the Voronoi diagram layer is the description column, which has the depot name. And then I'm going to classify. It's done, and you can see it's actually classified all my stores to say which depot area based on the Voronoi diagram that they lie within. I'm going to give this column a new header here, and then because I've added a new column to my data, I'm just going to make sure to click within the previous existing range and do update layer extend so it picks up the new column in my layer. And now that I've actually classified my stores into their depot areas, that tells me what is the closest depot that they should be served by. I can also do a color theme if I want to now on those points by coming to properties and then going to thematics, new theme. I'll call this depot, and I'll come to the colors tab here, and I'll choose the color column as the depot column that was added, choose unique colors, and then OK. And there we go. So we can actually see our points very nicely classified to their closest depot, and I've themed on that here now. And we use the Voronoi diagram to create those precise regions around the depots, telling us what are the areas that are closest to that depot around it. And that's all in this demonstration. Thank you very much.